Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Henry Gowett, and welcome back to Bring On the Entertainment. I have with me a fellow YouTuber and somebody I worked with in the past before, and I'm really glad to have him on again. Daniel, how we doing, Daniel?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. How you doing?
Cool. Awesome. I'm doing pretty well, man. It's been like an interesting week. Like I got Scott Mendelson on for another episode, so I'm shitting my pants in that. Plus, I have like a YouTuber meeting with this guy named Kong. He's gonna look at my channels and shit, and I'm just like, oh fuck. I'm very fucking nervous. But anyway, enough about me. We're here for you, Daniel. So Daniel, I want to talk to you about being a YouTuber part time, and I want to get into your details of how you got into YouTube and what passion got you fired up to make videos, because you make a lot of videos, man, per week. I'm shocked, man. It's pretty good.
Thank you. I had me my when I was growing up, I had my mom. She was going through it at times, and I would hang out with my stepfather most of the times, and he loved movies, and he practically raised me a little bit. I wouldn't. My biological father raised me a little bit, but I spent most of my time with my biological mother and my stepfather, and he was a huge movie fan, and he practically got me into movies. I remember one of the first movies that he got me into was the 1989 Batman, and that and
Nice.
and I was around like 8 years old when I first saw that Batman movie. Me at the time, I only care for like cartoon movies, so I didn't really care for that. But he was a huge he that was one of his favorite movies, and I was like, so I watched that, and then that's what got me into the Batman character.
There you go, man.
And then while growing up, I started idolizing the Batman character because I felt like I felt like his story is relatable to the average human being, and
There you go, man.
that's an argument within itself for a whole nother topic of discussion. But but just growing up, he just he just loved movies, and
Dude, that's my
unfortunately he passed away in 2010. And one of his anticipated movies he always wanted to see was an Avengers movie.
Oh,
He
dude.
talked about that, and then we start watching the MCU together, and then he didn't make it. But I felt like if he was alive, he would have saw Avengers. He would have loved Avengers, and that's one of the reasons why I got into talk about movies, because I felt like I was a little distraught when he was gone, but yet for that first 2 years that after he passed away, I decided like, what can I do to at least feel better with myself? What can I do to
Yep.
get this anxiety and this turmoil, this darkness within me? And that's what I got to the camera. I felt like when I'm on camera, I can get rid of all my problems and be free. And so that's why I love doing movie reviewing on my channel, because it's like I keep a memory of my stepfather alive while I do my movie reviews. So, and that's that's basically my story, man. I just
Yeah,
love
totally, dude.
it's my story. It's my source of escape. My bat cave.
There you go, dude. That's fucking awesome. That is the coolest story I have ever heard, man. I'm actually practically crying a little bit, man. Dude, holy shit, that's really awesome. I'm just glad you're taking something you love and you're sort of dedicating
Hmm.
to a person you love. That's really something, man. And
Thank you.
totally, it's pretty badass. And I would actually want to ask, who's your favorite Batman in your opinion?
My favorite Batman? Oh, Ben Affleck Batman, hands down. My second favorite is Christian Bale. But
Yeah,
here's a reason. When I say Ben Affleck Batman, people give me a weird crazy
that's all
face.
right. It's
But
fine.
how I explain it is that Ben Affleck's was the epitome of Bruce Wayne. If you look at him and compare him to the Bruce Wayne in the comic books, he has the almost the exact build of the Dark Knight of the Batman from Dark Knight Returns,
Yeah.
and I just I just feel like Ben Affleck was just a perfect choice. I mean, Christian Bale was good, but you know he had a raspy voice, and Batman doesn't have a
Yeah.
raspy voice. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I
Yeah.
picked Ben Affleck.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty cool, man. I'm more of a Marvel fan, but I do love the DC stuff as well.
Mhm.
I think Ben Affleck. I think like Man of Steel was like my first introduction to Superman. I know that's like super like blasphemy to like a lot of people, but like I never really got into Superman until like Man of Steel. And though I have like mixed feelings on like the Zack Snyder universe, I from
Mm.
those things I learned to love these characters as well because I'm kind of a both worlds. And though, yeah, I grew up with more of like Iron Man, Spider Man. I know I'm like a weird kid. I was like, I sort of like learned to like appreciate all sides there. And like and speaking of the new Batman, what is your opinion of Robert Pattinson? Do you think that's going to be a good movie?
I feel like it's going to be a good movie. I feel Robert Pattinson turned over a new leaf. He is a
Phenomenal actor.
tremendous actor, and I have complete faith in him to being Batman. And
Yeah, definitely.
I, I, I for the everyone who's been cast, it has like an ensemble cast. Jeffrey Wright. They have Colin Farrell, Zoe Kravitz. I mean,
It's like
Robert
a great cast,
Pattinson.
huh?
They almost have a cast of an A24 film,
Dude,
and
totally.
it's just a remarkable seeing that all this together. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. They got the Penguin as a villain. The Riddler could be a villain. Catwoman is going to be in it, and it's going to feature like a tons of Batman's rogues gallery. It is. I am really excited for it. Even though it's not going to be in the DCEU, but still, I'm still excited for it. I
Yeah.
think we can kill it.
Actually, like, is there like any proof that it's not going to be in the DCEU? Isn't like the Flash movie gonna like change that though? Like, I don't know. Maybe
Um,
it's just like me being dumb talk.
from what I'm hearing, I I keep I keep a lot of close tabs on DC content because I have a lot of followers who really love DC, and
Totally.
every now and then there's some rumors and news sources that post the stories. I remember we got this covered. Which is not really a reliable source, if you ask
Yeah.
me. They posted the story of a Flash movie, and then a couple days later, it came out true. So that's a win for when we got this covered. But from what I'm hearing, what the Flashpoint movie, they're introducing the multiverse concept, and what they will do, they will introduce a new like universe, but still keep the Snyderverse intact on HBO as a separate thing, and then the films and then they'll have other films and the movies that be separate from the Snyder cut, and they'll have like their own thing there. So that's what I'm hearing, and that's what I have. What I have Michael Keaton as return as Batman, not as a replacement to Ben Affleck, but more of a like an extension, if that makes
An
sense.
extension of him, I get you.
Yeah. So
That's pretty cool, bro.
yeah, and that's what I feel like that's the route they're going.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to ask you something else here. So, like,
Yes.
what if since you're like a full blown movie fan, what would be some great movies to recommend? Like, like if you're like a big genre fan and all you watch is genre films, what would be like a great exit? What would be a great entry point to like get into indie films? What would you think that would be like something? What would be some movies like? What would be a starter pack for like indie films in your opinion for a genre fan like me
In
and you?
indie films.
Yeah, if, in your opinion, you could just like be thrown out of your ass, totally fine.
Okay.
You know,
Let's see. Indie films. Uh,
so many for me.
um,
I know, very hard question. I get it. It's totally. There's so many of them, personally, for me.
Uh, I will say one Slumdog Millionaire. I would say one. That's a good one.
Definitely.
Um, Memento. That's a
That's
classic.
pretty good.
Um,
Definitely.
one of my all-time favorites, Donnie Darko.
That's pretty good.
I like that one. Indie films. Is Pulp Fiction an indie film?
I do totally. Hell yeah. That's such an indie film, man. Totally. Yeah,
That's an
definitely.
instant number one classic. And
Yeah,
trying to figure out what's next.
definitely.
Let's put in a horror film. I love horror, and
Totally, man.
I remember watching this movie as a child. I thought it was real as fuck. The Blair Witch Project. I thought it was a real
Oh
movie,
yeah, dude, that
but
movie like is so great.
that movie, that weirded me out as a kid. I thought it was real, but I'm so glad it wasn't. But that was like the first found footage movie I saw. So yeah, I had to give praise to that one.
Okay, actually, no. The funny thing was like I was actually watching Kevin Smith's podcast, and like,
Mhm.
dude, like he like made light of something, saying like, "Oh man, I showed that movie to my wife, and she like freaked out that the whole thing was actually real." It was so funny, dude. It was so fucking funny.
Oh man, the reaction. Oh, she had my kind of reaction. I couldn't sleep for days, man.
Dude, Kevin Smith like has is like that man is so lucky. Like holy shit. That Kevin Smith, man, living the
Kevin,
life.
Kevin Smith is a man.
Kevin Smith is totally the man. He gives hope for dorks like you and me, man. Like holy shit. I
Mhm.
feel so happy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. Yeah. So like yeah, for my picks, because like as much as I love genre fare and I love like blockbuster
Mhm.
stuff, I really love like recommending like very indie stuff. So like my first two
Mhm.
picks would be like the Safdie brothers, Good Time and Uncut Gems.
Mm.
Totally, dude. Those
Okay.
two are like so fucking good. Another one would probably be Parasite. Great one. Another one, I think Black Klansman, or oh my god, even better than that, Sorry to Bother You. That one is
Mm.
so fucking good. Sorry to Bother You is a great film.
That's what.
I think maybe a fourth one would probably be. Oh man, it was in 2016. I'm trying to remember the name of it. The Lobster.
Oh yes,
That one, The Lobster. That movie to me is so good. Totally.
yes.
Yeah, so great.
I like the Parasite. Parasite was one of my favorite movies. Probably when I first saw it, I wasn't expecting it to be like as funny as it was. I think that was
Totally.
that was a thing that threw me off, and the fact that it was funny and also it had a serious dark nature. And there is this one scene that like threw me off. It's probably my one of my favorite scenes in of the whole entire of 2019 was when the scene where that lady was describing how her son saw a monster, and then the camera like show the shelf, and like under on the
Totally.
ground level you can see like a head like surfacing up. You can see like his eyes, like that was a scary scene. I don't know. Do you know what scene I'm talking about in
Oh
Parasite?
yeah, dude, totally near the end where like the lady rig is like living at the bottom of the basement, dude. That was like
Yes.
so cool. That
Yeah.
is so cool.
How that scene was done, that scene scared the fuck out of me, and it just it still rubs me the wrong way to this day looking at it.
Awesome. Yeah, dude. That man, dude, 2019 was like such a good year for fucking films, man. We had Endgame, we had Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Irishman. Like, yeah, there were some stinkers, but dude, that was like a great year for movies. And like it was like a great send off to the decade. Unfortunately, 2020 has been a real shit show. So
Yeah.
that's for like my political channel. So I actually want to ask you, what is your favorite film of 2020 so far?
Man, I haven't. That's it's not that hard. The best movie I've seen thus far is probably say Spike Lee's The Five Bloods.
That's so good.
The second best film I've seen this year is Invisible Man,
That's pretty good.
and I don't really have a third
Oh
as of
yeah.
now.
All right. So my one's gonna be kind of basic, but whatever. I
Mhm.
like it. So my top three this year are King of Staten Island. That movie to me was like
Mm.
really fucking good. Like seriously, like Judd Apatow man has gone a long way from the 40-year version, which I thought was just okay. But
Mhm.
with like every film, it just feels like he's getting better and better and better. Like I even like my favorite film of his is actually Funny People with Adam Sandler. Like that movie to me, like just he makes these wonderful like star-driven vehicle films that just work. And like Pete Davidson in King of Staten Island is phenomenal. Like if you want to see it, I'd probably wait a couple more weeks because like it's 22 fucking bucks, which is like really expensive. So
Mhm.
wait till it gets on the discount thing. That'll be pretty good. Number two would be The Gentleman. Like that movie to me is just killer. It has some like racially stereotypical stuff that I have issue with, but it's still pretty good. Five the Blood, number three for me. Number four being Onward. That movie is so fucking good. That's probably one of my favorite Pixar films of the last 10 years. Like I really love that movie. And Tom Holland, like Chris Pratt did a great job in that film as well. And last but certainly not least, Five the Blood. Great,
Mhm.
great pairing here. Like 2020 is actually without all the COVID stuff, it would actually been a pretty good year, man, for films as a whole.
It it would have been. It would have been. I remember what are the movies that they're delayed we were supposed to see. We were supposed to see not Last of Us. What's that movie?
Tenet,
Quiet Place 2,
yeah.
Tenet, that Mulan movie. I wanted to see that. Um, oh, Wonder Woman, Wonder
Oh yeah,
Woman
1984.
84. We were supposed to get that.
Yeah, dude, there was like so many good movies this year that were gonna like be really good. And also, there was actually like actually the box office this year was actually supposed to be like more diverse than it was last year. Like I feel like this year was gonna be like the year where like more hits that were not just Disney were gonna do. Like I could have thought King of Staten Island could have like really like kicked it out of the park, and also Wonder Woman, Fast and the Furious. It could have been a really good year for box office, but instead we're just Hollywood's fucked as usual, man.
hmm
It sucks. It's really disappointing.
It is. They got 2020.
Yeah.
In 2020, it's depressing. It's depressing thinking about it. It's depressing thinking about it. It's
Yeah, totally.
no win,
And you know what's actually
no win scenarios.
yeah. So like okay, actually want to get into that. So like if the COVID-19 thing haven't happened, what do you think would have like ruled the box office? Would it be Fast and the Furious? Would it be Wonder Woman? Would it be Black Widow? Soul? Like which one do you think would have like been the top earner of that year of this year in your opinion?
Mm,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I know for a fact that I, I I would think that Woman 84 would dominate the box office.
Totally.
Not taking anything away from Black Widow or the Fast and Furious.
Totally.
I felt like with with all the momentum from Aquaman in the first Wonder Woman movie, I feel like
That could
84,
like really been
84 could do the same, be just as successful as the first film. I won't say it will make as much as the first one. I ain't saying it's gonna be like $1 billion performance, but I could see it making at least around
900.
around 900, 950. Um,
Actually, I actually think there's actually like a really good chance that Wonder Woman 1984 would actually like would actually like do $1 billion because I think like Wonder Woman like really like overperformed like when it like opened up. It was like around 870 million. That's like way more than Suicide Squad. Like if you
mhm,
look at like all the box office for all the DC films like up till Justice League, it was
mhm,
going up, it was going down. Like Batman v Superman was like a drawback from Man of Steel, and Suicide Squad was like a little bit of a drawback from like Batman v Superman. They all still did pretty well, but yeah, but Wonder Woman was like the exception. It actually went up a notch with 870, then from Suicide Squad's 825, I believe. I could be like wrong on that, but I have to look at the numbers there. But yeah, that was like one that actually did pretty well. And dude, Aquaman, This box office was fucking crazy. Like I thought that movie was gonna like be crammed with Bumblebee, Mary Poppins. Dude, that I am shocked that that movie like really destroyed the box office in 2018 because dude, that was like a packed like 2 weeks. And the holiday season is actually like a big time for movies, but it's never like a great idea to like have like 4 to 5 major blockbusters in that period of time, and that's what I'm kind of worried about with like Dune this year because Dune is literally gonna like just be eaten alive by Free Guy, Top Gun Maverick. I'm just very concerned about it, man. Do you think they should push it back or push it up? Like, what do you think they should do for that one?
Uh, um, I am. Uh, I am conflicted on a notion because I am how much I am dying for film.
Yeah,
I think the most important thing is people's lives. I think
totally.
if it in the cases it's not getting better, it's getting worse for some odd reason, and it's I think the studios should do its best for try just aim for like 2021. This year has been pretty much done.
Yeah, it's pretty much done.
Christopher Nolan has been trying to drop his movie Tenet, and he delayed his film for a third time. And I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Do
it's
you think that's actually gonna land the release date though? Do you think it will?
uh, is this release date in August? He had it
August 12th. Yes,
August
but
12th. Yeah. We're in July, and it's only a month off. It's probably not going to happen. I don't really see it coming out in August. It might get delayed again. It might because it's not. I mean, August 12th is not too far off. So
yeah,
it.
definitely. But the thing is, actually, I've actually been seeing a lot of promo TV spots for it. So like that just gives it like
Mhm,
more clout that it's gonna actually like make that release date. I still think it is because Christopher Nolan's gonna
mhm,
like definitely push the studio to get it there. And if they like piss Christopher Nolan off, then he's probably gonna go elsewhere for his next film. And Warner Brothers can't afford that. Like
mhm.
totally. Yeah, but I think with like Mulan, I think they're gonna put that on Disney Plus. Like
For Milan, I can see that because yeah,
like think about
everything has been going on. Some films that was supposed to be released in theaters got released on VOD. Um, Milan.
And the thing about Mulan, also you got to keep in mind is that that was specifically made for the Chinese government. Like that movie is tailor made for like Chinese box office, and now that the fact that like most Chinese theaters have been shut down permanently, that movie puts like a big like mark. It's
Perm-
like, oh shit, what are we gonna do about that now? You know what I mean?
Permanently. Wow.
Yeah, like, there was like 40% of the box office like theaters in China are now like closed off.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, I'm being serious. Like this is like truly scary time for the movie theater industry. So I
Yeah,
actually want to ask you about something
definitely is.
that is really important here because I'm actually going to talk about this with Scott like in the coming days. But
Mhm.
do you see movie theaters staying around for the next 4 to 5 years?
Oh man, this is an interesting question.
It
Um,
is. And be honest with me.
yeah.
Like,
This, okay.
I'm sorry for like putting like these hard questions on you, but I love
I
these
love
like
it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Um, 4 or 5 years. It could. It could, in a way, only if it could, but it could live. But
yeah,
it's hard because every day the theater is losing money
dude, totally.
while they're being closed every single day.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're already. I think they have. I think AMC theaters already filed bankruptcy.
Oh yeah, dude. No, it's like really screwed. Like they need like to reopen their theaters by mid July because if like Tenet or another movie just pushes off to like October, they're done for. And I could
Mhm.
even Regal Cinema is like die like burning cash as well. Like they're like losing tons and tons of money. Like holy shit.
Yes, and and
Mhm.
I remember back at a time where
Yeah,
what Trolls 2 came out and on
yeah,
home theater,
yeah.
in AMC theaters, they pretty much said they're not releasing any more Universal films from Universal Studios, and I'm just like, why y'all do something like that? Um,
Totally. Yeah,
and
it's
there's this
crazy.
thing they're saying that they might like just have everything just come out of home theater,
Yeah,
where
totally.
where basically where everything costs $20, and I'm like, well, yeah, but it just ruins the experience of going to the movie theater. Um,
Totally. I would
I
get
think
that.
I think um in 4 or 5 years, I think movie theaters will still be around, but it won't be as popular as like now. I think
Yeah.
since we're in the coronavirus era, I think it kind of changed it a little bit, and I feel like home theater will probably be the thing that some studios might go for going down the road. I don't like the fact that you got to pay $20 for a renting a movie, but I understand the business behind it.
Yeah.
Um, but me personally, for movies, it should be coming out in theaters, not in home theater. So
Yeah.
I feel like that in 4 or 5 years, it's if they don't get things together, it could be dying soon.
Oh yeah,
Like
dude.
by
I'm like
then.
very concerned, man. Like totally. Yeah. Because my take on it though is that the thing about Universal is that like I think like you got to think about this about Universal is that Universal is like kind of beneath Warner Brothers and Disney because Warner Brothers and
Mhm,
Disney both have like huge fucking IPs, man. Like not like is probably the king of the box office, but Warner Brothers is like an inch like behind them.
mhm,
Like yeah, Disney may be big, but dude, like Warner Brothers can like easily take a Swift X. Universal, it's kind of different because the only things that they have are well, actually, they've actually been building up a really big like arsenal of like stuff. They got DreamWorks, they got Illumination, they have
mhm,
the Fast and the Furious, have Jurassic Park, and now they have like did you hear about this? They actually now have the license to Lego, so they basically have like a new empire of stuff there. So like they're like, fuck it, we have our like little empire stuff here. Why can't we just release stuff on our own? They're doing the Disney approach of like, why do we need the middleman? We could just release stuff on our own. And then like I think the theaters are right to do this. I think the theaters are right saying, hey, if you're gonna do this, we're not gonna allow any of your movies to play in the theaters. And I think the theaters are justifying that. I don't think it's gonna last because again, dude, AMC needs all the hits they can get because
exactly.
they
Exactly.
cannot. Fast and the Furious is not going to survive on VOD. It has to be in the theaters because the budgets are so high for these. We could see the end of like the $200 million blockbuster, which could be a good thing maybe for like filmmakers like you and me because like now studios could take chances on smaller projects. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I will miss those big blockbusters, but I don't know. Only time will tell for that because it all depends on what happens in the coming months and if Tenet releases in theaters, which I hope it does because dude, that is like the last big thing because that is the thing I think Tenet needs to come into theaters because it needs to make money. I don't think like it will make. I think it will have longer legs though. I think maybe when Tenet comes out, like the theatrical window could be like extended to like maybe December. So if Tenet like is the only movie that comes out this year, it could have like maybe 4 to 5 months longer life period than it did like if it was like being released in like a crowded summer, right? Do you think that could
Hmm.
happen? Maybe.
um, but it could. I it's really. I don't know. I'm more of a cautious person.
Okay, no
Um,
worries.
but uh um,
No worries.
but yeah, the film needs to be released, of course, to make profit. That's but at the expense of
Life. I mean, of course, we need to
life.
put that in the contention there, right? Because
As
like,
long as there's a safer way they could release the film,
I
I can see it going forward.
totally, yeah. Um, actually, what do I actually want to ask you? What would be the best way to reopen theaters? Do you just start out the gate with like new content, like Tenet, Mulan, or do you like bring people back with like old stuff, like Inception, Avatar, Endgame, the Avengers movies? Would you go with those first, maybe? It,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably go. I'll probably bring in some movies that was released on VOD that was supposed to be in theaters, like
So
Trolls 2.
Onward, maybe.
Um, was Onward released in theaters?
It was released for like 2 weeks and it got pulled,
Oh,
and then it's just like
oh yes, Onward. Just some like smaller films. Onward. Trolls. What else movie that had a small run? There's a movie that My Spy. The movie supposed to come out on April 12th, but it got delayed,
yeah.
released on VOD.
I don't know. I don't think that movie would have made like a really big hit at all. Honestly, that would have just been like maybe like a it would have made its money back in a weekend, like maybe $20 million opening. It would be a fine opening, and it probably just sort of like drowning in obscurity. That's what I would think. I think I don't know. Kind of
Also,
fair.
I don't. I mean, I don't know the delay. Probably, I think they delayed. I don't remember. I don't remember the news, but what's that movie? What's that movie called? The Quiet Place 2, Part
Yeah,
2. That needs to be released
it got released. It's gonna be releasing Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend. Okay. Yeah, maybe that. Okay, okay, good. That's good because I didn't remember the release date for that one.
Yeah,
Um,
that one is getting its release date thing here. Yeah. Okay. Well, we should probably get off this here because like hey, I don't want to like overbody here. 'Cause I'm actually gonna save all of this for like Scott Mendelson's episode.
okay,
But anyway, I want to
okay.
keep this up on you here. So as a DC fan, what are the big announcements you're looking forward to this August for the DC fandom? What do you think is going to be announced there? Like what do you think is going to be there in your opinion?
Um, it's gonna be crazy. I'm hearing lots of leaks. I mean, I do my best not to believe every story. Like as long as it's from like Variety or from the actual source, and I don't really believe it. I don't get my hopes up too. I don't get my hopes up that high, but um, I want to hear some information about
I didn't realize.
the Snyder Cut Justice League. I'm hearing rumors about the Batman game,
Oh,
new Batman game, from
all right.
could be a sequel to Arkham. I'm hearing rumors of a Superman game.
Yeah,
Hopefully get more information about the Justice League, not Justice League, Flashpoint, definitely,
gotcha.
and just basically news of revolving around the Snyderverse.
Totally.
See what's AT&T got plans there.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
it's like bro, it's like a lot to talk about, which I'm really excited for. It's so much.
Totally. Hey
I'm
man,
just covering
totally.
the basics.
Oh wow, you're a kid in a candy shop, man. It's all good.
um, some I'm hearing rumors about Constantine movies in development.
Yeah.
That could be announced. Also, there's two mysterious projects that's going to be announced. Then,
Actually, I actually don't believe the constant rumor, but I do believe a rumor that J.J. Abrams is working on Superman. Like I have a feeling that J.J. Abrams wants to, after the Rise of Skywalker, he wants to get a redemption project, and there's no better redemption project than there is Superman. And like if it's paired up with Henry Cavill, dude, that would just be like the internet would explode. Like that could like trump Marvel's Phase 4, like truly. And I'm excited for Phase 4. Like that would be pretty good. Maybe that's what I heard from like John Campia, who's actually like moving to my area actually. So hey, like squeeze the scoops out of him. I don't know. Not literally though.
um, um, uh, for the Phase 4,
Yeah.
we got some movies. We got Internal starting out. We got Black Widow. Um,
I mean, I think all those are gonna do well. Like, I think Shang Chi's gonna like kick the box office because it's like it's gonna be like another Marvel risk. Same with the Eternals. I think those two are like vital to like Marvel's future because those are both brand new films, and will they be standalone movies or just another forgettable episode of the thing? It's still enjoyable, but I hope those two movies just stand on their own because as much as I love Marvel movies, I'm getting tired of them just like sort of like breaking into their stereotypes of like movies like Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel. They've sort of like broken away with that with like movies like Homecoming and Black Panther, Guardians of the
Mhm.
Galaxy Vol. 2. But I hope these new franchises just stand on their own. Like I think really hope Shang-Chi does that, and I really hope Doctor Strange 2 is like a level up for Doctor Strange because that character deserves better than his first solo solo movie because I wasn't a fan of it, you know.
Mhm.
And
Like when you say something like that, do you mean like you don't want to see like studio and have like you don't want to see studio interference? You want
I
do
mean,
you?
it's not that. I mean, most blockbusters have studio and theaters in them. Like, I'm not really bothered by that. I just hope they
Mhm.
have like a more like unique. They have like more standalone stories. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Okay.
Which I think they're gonna have more of. Like, I think the Falcon and Winter Soldier is gonna be a more standalone story than like let's say something like WandaVision, which looks pretty good by the way. Like that to me is probably gonna be like the crown jewel along with Doctor Strange 2. Like
Mhm.
those two are like vital. Like if they fuck them up, which let's be honest, they're not gonna fuck them up. Like Kevin Feige's got this in the bag. Like come on. Plus they have Sam Raimi who directed the Evil Dead trilogy, the Spider-Man trilogy, which I'm gonna
Yeah.
have a hot take here. Like I
Yeah.
actually don't like the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man. I love the second one. The third one's pretty bad, but I think the only great Sam Raimi Spider-Man, in my opinion, is number two. But
Hmm.
the first one
You're
doesn't
the
like
first.
hold, yeah. The first one doesn't hold up as much for me because I'm more of
Mhm.
a Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield guy. I actually think Andrew Garfield's first movie is probably the best origin movie out of all the trilogies because it takes stuff in a more grounded direction and it's smaller and I like that, you know.
Hmm.
I know,
Hmm.
hot take, but my favorite Spider movie is probably Homecoming, you know.
Homecoming. Okay. Uh, I'll forever will love Spider-Man 2. I think Far From Home was a good Spider-Man movie. It went back to like the origin, like back to the roots of his comics. You know how he's just a kid, you know, with regular problems,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I really like that. It really traverses on his journey of trying to become a hero. So
And the one thing
and
about sorry, I'll let you talk there. Sorry about that.
uh and So yeah, I had to say probably say Far From Home is my second favorite Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 1. I'm not much of a fan of the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
No worries.
I felt like the first they was trying to introduce this new concept like story we haven't a Peter Parker story we haven't seen before. But they didn't really I felt like they didn't develop they didn't fully develop it, especially in the second movie where it had Peter Parker was like basically was led to a tunnel and where he had discovered his father was was working with I'm trying to remember the scene. Who was he working with? My brain's is losing.
Norman Osborn.
Norman Osborn, and then I don't know. Then it, he left a message for Peter Parker, and I'm just like, so I'm just at that moment I'm thinking to myself, so his father knew that Peter Parker was going to become Spider Man.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
this
more like
scene was
Rise
you were
of
implying.
Skywalker. It sort of reminded me like I was watching Rise of Skywalker and it's like, dude,
Hmm.
this movie has a lot of conveniences. Like, oh, this thing right over here, you got to get the thing over here and that and this and that. And it's just like, dude, it's like everything's just like happening too like perfectly. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
this thing broke
Rise
off
of
here. It's right
Skywalker
over
for
there.
me, it had like a video game plot because they
Yeah,
went to like
definitely.
three different locations. Plot A, plot B, plot C. Get this device, get this MacGuffin, get this MacGuffin, get this MacGuffin. Oh, they're lost. They have some random conversation, and then after the conversation, we magically know where everything's is. That's
Yeah,
so convenient.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. And it sucks because like Disney was actually doing like a great job with the Star Wars trilogy up to that point. Like Force Awakens and The Last Jedi were both like I think phenomenal films. Like I think people don't give enough credit to those two movies because they both like did something that like they mixed old with new and I just love that. And like man,
mhm.
it just fucked it up with that. I really wish Colin Trevorrow was like the director of like the Dual Fates because he could have like brought it home like because I actually really like the motif of like these like new filmmakers like mixing Star Wars together, sort of like what David Lindelof did with Watchmen, right? You know,
Hmm.
it's really
Um,
good.
I I would love to see Colin Trevorrow version.
Oh,
The Last Jedi, I liked. Even it subverted my expectations a bit, but I still liked it for what we
yeah,
got. I liked the story revolving around Rey. I think it was something interesting in introducing her
yeah,
as a
definitely,
character who came from nowhere.
definitely.
Exclamation point. but but and then after watching Rise of Skywalker, it's just I just feel like that whole entire movie was nothing but fan service. I just felt like he was J.J. Abrams was trying to undo everything that Ryan Johnson did in Last Jedi
Yeah,
and put everything into fruition, like the kiss and the all the force powers with no explanation. It wasn't it wasn't terrible. You can still watch it as a Star Wars movie, but
I don't know. I really like that movie. It's really phenomenal. Like I know people have some like weird problems with it, and I do get that, but I feel like it was a movie intentionally made to piss people off, and that's what I actually really like about it is that it sort of subverts everybody's expectations. And I think the thing they do with Luke is just phenomenally well done because he says at the end, everything you said is wrong. The rebellion is born today. I will not be the last Jedi. And I think it's actually like an amalgamation of Star Wars fandom and how like it's good to have fandom, right? Like
yeah.
believing in an idea of Luke Skywalker, I think is really, really important, especially in our modern age. Like I thought that movie was cleverly well done, well executed, and I really like it. And I know I'm in the minority, but yeah. Anyway, so
Well, mhm.
yeah, no worries. Keep going. You're good.
Just one thing. I just want a small little thing I want to point out. Just when I was watching Rise of Skywalker, there's like on in Rise of Skywalker, Luke Skywalker had an arc, and his
Yep.
arc was he was he exiled himself because he felt he had guilt. And in the Last Jedi, no, was it that no, the Rise of Skywalker? It was revealed that he knew the whereabouts of Chancellor Palpatine. That
Yep.
he knew he lived, and I'm
Yeah.
just and that right there kind of goes against his character arc in the in the Last Jedi because when he first met Rey, he was like, "Who are you?" He didn't know who Ray was, but in the Last Jedi, it kind of conflicts with his character arc because he knew Ray. He knew Ray this whole entire time, but yet he didn't know who she was. And throughout the movie, he even act he didn't seem like he knew her. He was clueless,
Yeah.
and and also I just felt like if he knew that Chancellor Palpatine was alive, he wouldn't put himself in exile.
Oh yeah, dude, definitely. Like
So I just feel like the writing for his character arc was a little bit flawed, and it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way on things. I just
yeah. Anyway, speaking of studio interfered movies,
Mhm.
there's this thing that really shocked me was that so Ray Fisher, who was part of Justice League,
Mhm.
came out and just basically threw Joss Whedon, Jeff Johns, and Peter Berg under the fucking bus. There's like no way of sugarcoating that he literally just came out and said these guys are all assholes. Fuck them. They can go to hell. And like he's just been like on a Twitter rant for the past couple of days. It's like holy shit, this guy has nothing left to lose. So like, what are your thoughts on that? Like I know like we before the episode started, you had like a lot of thoughts on it. And I wanted to get them out here right before we wrap this up because I think you could have a really great in-depth analysis of how like this whole process works. Because like I think you can make like books on what happened to this movie, or even make a documentary. Like if John Stepper alive, I'm pretty sure to be like on the scene to make a Justice League documentary. Like what happened to this movie?
um, it it just it turned into a shit show to be honest. Some like so many. It all started off with Warner Bros. Getting rid of Zack Snyder. It all started with that, and then how they used the media to flip it, saying they was just having him spend time with his family for the death of his daughter, but actuality they just got rid of him. Um, and and for I thought I mean, I thought Joss Whedon was good. When I first saw the tweet, where he posted that video of him saying that he supports Joss Whedon. The videos, the statement said, "I want to forcefully retract this everything I said in this statement." And, and when looking at the video, you could see it. You could see it on Ray Palmer's face, the facial expression, his demeanor. Like he didn't want to say what he said. Like after he said, like I support Joss Whedon, and he's going to do everything. He's going to do a good job cleaning everything up. He took a deep breath and looked exactly at Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa then had no reaction. I just like, okay, that was funny. But yeah, yeah, he has nothing to lose. He's being honest. So, it's and then John Berg came back to about the statement after he's a day later, and he didn't deny the accusations that Josh Whedon was being gross. He's basically saying that Ray Palmer that Ray Fisher didn't want to say "booyah," which is the saying for a Cyborg's character. But,
Yeah, definitely.
but in my opinion, I'm like, maybe because when the scene when he said it, it was so cringeworthy. Like he only said it one time in the Justice League movie, but it didn't make sense after he said it. But in the original Snyder Cut version, there was development to his character, which led to him to say it.
All right.
And and for me, I'm like you, John Berg. You still sound like you're guilty as fuck because you didn't deny anything. The only thing you said was I didn't. I quote. I'm not. I quote. I'm just paraphrasing here, but um, he said he didn't. He said he didn't condone anything under his watch. Under
All
his,
right.
but yet he just retracted. But then he just came out and said that he didn't. That Ray Fisher didn't want to say "booyah." I'm like, okay,
Yeah, that's really stupid.
that
That's
means
like
he
such
was
like a
aware of
weak
the
argument,
situation.
though.
That means John Berg was aware of the situation. So since you know that there was a possible toxic situation going on at the cast of Justice League, and you was aware of the situation, makes you and you was in a position of power. You are executive, sir. You are guilty. So I'm just so yes. It is shocked to see Prof. Fisher's admit that, but it's justified. He's expressing himself. Um, like I said, he has nothing to lose. He has nothing to lose. He was given a role where he was supposed to make a name for himself, but all that was swept underneath the rug. So Warner Bros. Did him dirty.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, dude, because like it really sucks. 'Cause, like Warner Brothers, like one of the last auteur studios out there. No shade at like Universal or Disney, but man, you need movies. We need studios like Warner Brothers to have those like driven things. And like I think it was a big mistake to let Zack Snyder just hand the reins out to the DCQ because like as much I mean I like some of Zack Snyder's work. It's just I don't think like he could have. I don't think I don't know. I just think he was like I don't think he was like the right guy to do it personally, but that's just me. And I know he has like his legions of fans, and I've actually like been attacked by a couple of them before, like for slamming like Batman v Superman. It's like, oh, you Disney shill, blah, blah, blah. And like those are like a small minority. I know that, but
Yeah.
now he's getting his like cut, and I'm happy for him.
Mhm.
Even though I kind of feel like it's kind of rewarding toxic fandom a little bit. But again, this is all just driving content for HBO Max, which I haven't gotten yet, but I'm really gonna get it like once Close Enough gets released because that's a show I'm looking forward to. That's a big
Mhm.
fan of regular Joe. So yeah, it was pretty good.
Yes. But yeah. But no hard feelings on the differences of DC and Marvel. I mean, I like Marvel. I like DC. I like both.
Yeah,
And I'm more of a Universal fan. I'm not. I don't pick sides. I love everything.
oh, man.
That's the whole
Same
point of.
here, dude.
That's the whole point of being a fan. It's not a. It's. I really do hate flame wars and hate people arguing and stuff like that. People have different opinions, and what people
Yeah,
needs to understand in this time of age that need to accept different points of opinion and
there you go.
not judge a person for it.
Yeah.
and
because yeah, yeah,
like
definitely.
like I should sit,
People. Oh, sorry, sorry.
like, yeah, I should sit here and I mean, yes, I hear you. He said you're not a fan of Zack Snyder. I should praise your opinion.
Oh, totally, dude. If
Bro,
you love them,
yeah.
I'm totally that.
So I just really hate that amongst people how
Yeah,
just people just take it
yeah,
out of proportions and just argue and these.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think people like Grace Randolph and Film Gob aren't really. Do you know who Film Gob is? I talked to him about it a couple of
Yes.
times on the show, but dude, that man is like just yeah, it's not very good. And Grace Randolph is just like, oh, this conspiracy theory. It's like, dude,
Oh
you know,
man, I can't stand Grace Randolph, but she's
like
cool. Um,
the thing is, it's like the whole Rotten Tomatoes thing. It's like Warner Brothers owns stake in like Rotten Tomatoes, and like Rotten Tomatoes isn't like it's an aggregate site. It's like it takes review numbers and like averages out like how many people liked it, how many people did like. It's not a grade. It's just
mhm.
it's a it's a thing there. It's so dumb. I don't know. It's like film fandom just it's like now just like morphed into this like just giant ball of like niches, and like the niches are trying to like for dominance, and it's just really dumb. It's the indie guys. It's like can we have like this like great like ball of like everything? It doesn't have to be like just one thing, you know?
Mhm. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But for yeah, oh yes, for Jordy, I feel like at first, Jordy was trying to promote like his t he had some t-shirts called release the Snyder no reject the Snyder Code, where he was
Oh yeah.
basically calling
Yeah,
out
that's right.
toxic fans in the DC community. But I felt like he was kind of promoting to-
Toxicity.
toxicity, yes, by having those shirts. And I'm just like, why would you make shirts on that cause anyway? Which I
Yeah.
really was
Wasn't
baffled
that
by.
Andy Signoret though? Like, I mean, I love Andy, but man, I don't know. I think he just maybe like might have lost it there. Like, but that takedown of like Film Gob and Jody was actually pretty good. Like, I don't know.
Mhm. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I remember. Wait, was he talking about Jordy in that video?
yeah, like Jody, like it was like this, like there was like this, like two head off there. There was like Film Gob, it was Andy, it was Jody. They're like all in this like clash together, and they were just sort of like fighting it out, saying, "Hey, what the fuck, man? Like, what are you
Oh,
doing?"
okay. Okay. I must
Totally.
have missed that video, but I did see like a reaction video where they was talking about Jordy and his reject the Snyder Cut shirts.
So dumb. I don't know. Like that's just like stirring up the pot even more. It's like, oh, look at these fans. They're all terrible. It's like, dude, that's not all of them. It's sort of like people like generalizing Marvel fans. Like, dude, not every Marvel fan is just like, oh, there's nothing greater than the Marvel movies. Like, dude, like most Marvel fans I know are like pretty level headed, you know.
Yeah,
And most DC fans I know are pretty level headed. Like it's just like people just like make these straw man arguments, saying, "Oh, look at these guys over here." It's just it's not good for film fandom as a whole, man. And
it's not.
I think everybody has contributed to it. I think it's the media. I think it's fans themselves. I think it's everybody to blame. But you know, hopefully once this year goes by, we can have like more honest and good discussions about film, and we can have a good variety. You can say, "Hey, man, like variety is key. We can have all types of films," and I hopefully once streaming sort of takes off, we can have more conversations with that. So, I actually wanted to end this thing off today by saying, like, asking what movies would you recommend right now people go see, in your opinion?
The Five Bloods. On Netflix.
Yeah,
Um, I would recommend watching The King of Staten Island
great
on
movie.
Amazon Prime. That's a good one.
Totally.
Let's see, what else have I seen recently? Invisible Man. I think that's available to watch on VOD.
Oh yeah,
That's
dude, it's actually half price now. So if you so you can
good.
like watch it for cheap, man, $5.
$5. Good. 4.99. Um, I can't just trying to figure out what's some other movies. I'm trying to think of some good movies. I've seen some movies, but most of the movies I've seen were not as good as I hoped for. And Bad Education. I saw that. It's a movie.
Oh yeah, dude, I've been trying to watch that one. How was it?
That was a good movie. That was a good movie.
You know,
Um. Oh. Extraction with the Thor.
Oh, that one was actually pretty good. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
I actually got
And
a review for that coming out this Monday. Actually, right now, actually. So yeah,
sweet. And I'm trying to think. There's anything else?
nah,
Uh, that's all I can think of right now. Those, just those. Bad
that's a pretty
Education.
good one.
Uh, I would love to put an A24 film Climax in there.
Oh yeah, dude, that's pretty good.
It's
What is the name of that Dave Patel Dave Patel movie? It's like a King movie. I'm gonna actually look up the name here. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be released on VOD, but it's the Dave Patel movie from the Newsroom. That's a great movie. Come on, where is it? Kingsmanship, I believe. Where is it? It's right here. It's like Dave Patel.
The Green Knight.
Green Knight, yes, that one. That one, I'm looking
Oh,
forward to that one so much.
yes. I want to see that one. I want to see that one. Do
Definitely.
you have any idea what the release date of the film?
I think one sec here. I'm actually looking that up here. Green Knight release date. Okay, so what it says here is that its release date was May 29th on VOD. So if I think you can now see it and check it out now. I'm seeing if it is on VOD because I'm not really sure about that. But yeah, dude, I'm actually gonna take a look at that one right now here. So
Yes.
before it gets to my list, you know,
Green Knight.
totally there.
I'm looking for this film right now. Oh.
Okay, so it said it's a limited release in theaters, so there's no like DVD release date out there, but be on the lookout for that one because I A24 needs more spotlight on their films there. I think it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for my list, I think I have like I think two ones that are the same here. Five the Blood King of Staten Island, both are phenomenal films.
Mm-hmm.
There's another Kevin James movie that came out. It's I actually saw it on a drive-in theater.
Becky.
It's called Becky, yeah, dude, that was actually surprisingly good. That's probably one of Kevin Smith's best films in a very, very long time. That was pretty good. And another one I was actually gonna try to watch, but I didn't have a lot of time to do it. Was what was it? It was what was the name of it? It was Lovebirds. I heard surprisingly good reviews about that one, but I haven't gotten around to watch it. And the trailer didn't really impress me that much. Did you actually see that one?
I haven't seen that one.
It was like supposed to be released in April, but it got like pulled. You
Hmm.
know, but
Wait.
yeah,
Oh wait, Lovebird. Hold on, I'm looking it up. Oh, that Lovebirds. Oh yes,
yeah.
I've seen that movie. Oh yeah, Issa Rae. Yeah. Oh, it's
It was
fine.
it was just fine. It was just like your average studio comedy, but without
Yeah,
like
Issa
the Judd
Rae
Apatow or Adam McKay flair, right?
Camille, they had great chemistry, and that's pretty much it. Outside of those two characters, the film didn't elevate itself to new heights. It was just eh.
It was just You're right.
It had great chemistry though.
Yeah, definitely. But there is one movie that I think is going to be super controversial on this list, and I think if you have Disney Plus, you owe it yourself to watch Artemis Fowl because my God, it's probably the worst movie you've seen in years, but it's an experience. It's sort of like watching Cats.
Like,
You'll hate the experience, but you'll have a fun time watching it. It's so terrible, it's good again.
hmm.
Everything about it fails, and it's just I don't know, and it sucks because like Kenneth Branagh directed that movie, but I feel like he's been on a downward
Oh,
spiral.
he directed that movie.
Yeah, he did direct that movie. He didn't he like direct like this other movie. It was a detective film.
Oh
It
yes,
was
it's or Murder on Orient Express.
Yeah, that was actually all right. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad, but I don't know. It was just kind of in the middle. But dude, this movie's so bad, and Judy Dench in the movie. Oh my god, it was so bad. Like I'm actually having a review for that coming out soon. But yeah, dude, like definitely watch it if you have Disney Plus. But if you don't even bother. Like you might as well get your money's worth on Disney Plus because like there's not a lot of content on there, a lot of new content. So if you got nothing there, also Hamilton's a
Hmm.
great one you should watch.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, Hamilton's great. Forgot to mention that. Oh my god, holy shit! Like that was like perfect timing on Disney to like put that right at the Fourth of July weekend. Like that was like
Hmm.
perfect timing. It was great. But yeah, and one more question for you.
Yes.
Which movie were you looking forward to being released in theaters this year? If there's one movie you would pick to get released this year, what would it be? Or actually, top three.
Um, Dune, Tenet, and uh, not Last of Us. I keep getting The Quiet Place too.
All right, that's pretty good. That's a good one.
Yes.
So, my three are, I think two of them are similar. Dune, Tenet, and the third one's gonna surprise you. Free Guy. I love Free Guy. That
You
movie
got?
looks so great. Yeah,
I haven't heard of that film.
the one with Ryan Reynolds, the NPC movie, the
Mm-hmm.
one that had that like really boss trailer back in December.
Oh, three. Let me look that up. Three guy.
It was directed by Sean Levi, the guy that did Night at the Museum films.
Uh, 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 three guys. Oh, okay. It's a movie. Oh, Free Guy. Oh,
Yeah,
that one. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
hope. I mean, I don't know. I hope that gets released because that would be like a very fun like family film for the whole family. And it's an original idea, and I hope it gets released. And it's actually that movie like is like the fate of 20th Century Fox, which is now 20th Century Studios. So I hope that does well. Yeah, as well as the French Dispatch. But
okay.
anyway, so yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this up here. Thank you, Daniel, once again for
Thank
being on
you.
this podcast. It's so great to get like diverse film voices on here, and hopefully, with these new couple episodes coming up, we can like get more film guys on here and more people from the industry. And
Hmm.
I hope you get to come back on, man. It's gonna be pretty fun.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for
So
having me.
anyway, oh sorry, you can go ahead one more time.
I said thank you for having me, man.
Of course, man. It's always great talking to you, man, because you like are so like in depth on the film industry, and though you don't know everything, I mean, hey, not everybody does, and you give your like honest opinion of what's gonna happen.
I'm
It's
just
really
a
great.
regular man who loves movies.
Totally, man. We need those average Joes, man, talking about movies.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, y'all, thank you guys for listening to this podcast. Hope share this around. There's gonna be more interviews like this. Check back for more of them. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.